we are back at the table. We are back at the table. Today we will be tackling the topic of friendship. And I have some special guests at the table that's going to help me navigate this. I don't know. It's a conversation that we have long had over and over again. But it's worth, continuously talking about it and, because it's all perspective at this moment, So I think friendship is dependent on the people that are inside of the arrangements of friendships. Because I can probably take it too far.
Yes.
But we gonna talk about that later. So I want to give just a definition of what the Webster's, dictionary says. So it tells us the emotions or conduct of friends, the state of being friendly. Now, I don't know if that's what everybody else, think about it, but anywho, we're gonna ask you, what's your definition of friendships? So I'm gonna go down the line. Tiffany, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi everyone. I'm Tiffany Taylor.
Yep, it's on.
Hi, I'm Tadika Johnson.
Hi, I'm Lisa Smith.
And listen, y'all, they're a little nervous. So show them some love. About 10 minutes in, they're going to be okay. They just got to get over the initial jitters or whatever. But I want to go real quick to two clips that talks about friendship.
Your real friends is going to stay your real friends. The ones that ain't your real friends, you going to lose them. Every time you level up, you're going to shed something. But in order to level up, it's necessary to shed. So don't even trip. The ones that's going to leave you because you done found your girl and you trying to live a better life and you don't hang out no more, you can't do what you did back then. See, my father told me a very valuable lesson. Everybody come with you, can't go with you.
My grandmother once told me that the true measure of friendship isn't how you feel about someone else. It's about how they make you feel about yourself.
Okay, ladies. We're going to jump into the conversation.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start with Tiffany and Tadika. We're going to start with T and Tiffany. 2 T's.
Double
For
T.
sure.
How long you guys been friends?
We've been friends since 7th grade, so about 31 years. Yeah.
30 million years?
31 years.
That's
about
what
31 years.
That's what's up. How did you guys become friends?
So, do you want me to tell it or? Oh, okay.
T trying to get out of talking, but she don't know. She about to talk.
So listen, this is Detroit Table Talk, and we are from the east side of Detroit. And we met at Foch Middle School.
Okay.
And we were in 7th grade, and I think we may have been in homeroom introducing ourselves, and she was like, her name is Tadika. I was like, Nautica. She was like, Tadika. I was like, what? But we clicked because
How they make you feel about yourself.
we both had, I think, strict parents growing up. Like, we couldn't hang with, like, I guess, quote unquote, the popular kids or the in crowd because they was doing things that we could not do. So we had that commonality. Like, we were like the quiet kids, not amongst each other, but amongst everyone else. And so we just kind of clicked on that. Like, once my dad met her mom, they were just like best buds, and he was like, you can go over to Tadika's house anytime. Because he trusted her mom, he trusted the environment. So we literally, through the years, we just remained friends, and we've been through all types of changes, the changes of
Did y'all go to middle school and high school together as well?
We went to high school together,
Yes, we did.
Southeastern. Yeah, we graduated from Southeastern.
Oh, I went to Southeastern for a spell. Them people over there was crazy. I was traumatized.
I love
Then
Southeastern.
the first semester,
Yeah, I graduated from Southeastern.
we had a gym teacher, and I cannot think of his name, but he used to give out paddles.
I don't even remember. Tall black.
Tall black.
What was his name?
Look,
I can't
you know I don't remember.
He used to give out paddles. People
Yeah.
come in late.
Mr. Witherspoon? Was it Mr. Witherspoon?
I don't think that was his name.
Okay, I don't
But
know.
anywho, they would come in late, and he would make them run, and then he would give them a paddle. And he didn't give you like a paddle, like a love tap. Especially like the athletes, he would take the paddle all the way back, and
That was
Win.
back. Yeah, that was back in the. That was good. That's cool.
he didn't do that with the girls though. He, just tap the girls. But that's when our parents was okay with us being disciplined by other adults because they trusted them.
Yes.
Now you can't even say nothing to these kids.
So true.
But yeah, that's how we met. We established that bond in school because we couldn't hang out with any of the other kids. They were way above what our parents would let us do. So on our off time, we would go skating, we'd go to the show, spend the night over each other's houses, and we loved on each other throughout.
I think Lisa and I met when we were in our 20s,
Late 20s.
late 20s.
Well,
Yeah.
you were probably mid 20s. Where I'm a
Oh,
couple.
no,
of years.
she ain't
I'm a
that.
couple of
She
years.
ain't that much older than me. She gonna act like I was the baby of the bunch.
You remember I kept saying like, why am I hanging out with these young girls?
These
Like,
kids. We met at church.
Okay.
We went to church together. I think we used to sit next to each other. We didn't. It was like you go into church, you get the word, and then you out.
Then you leave.
Yeah.
That was Lisa's makeup.
Yeah.
Mama Edwards' makeup, and that was definitely mine. When they said amen, we were out the door. But we end up becoming youth leaders.
Yes. So I think that's where we became really close. We were trying to think. Yeah, it was being youth leaders.
We were youth leaders, and the youth leaders used to hang out all the time after church. No, especially when we were fasting.
Yeah.
We would all be like sitting in the back, counting
Counting
down.
down. Where we going?
Where we going? We be ordering food in church, like to pick it up.
Right after it was
We be
over.
handing each other little Snicker bars, miniature Snicker bars. So as soon as he say we off the fast, we popping some, And we went to an outing with the other youth leaders, and I was used to the young people, so I was always with them. I invited Lisa, and
I was trying to be saved.
she was trying to be saved, and I was saved.
Right.
But
you knew how to meet them
some
where
of
they
the
were.
but some of the youth were,
They was walking a fine line.
It was fine, yeah.
Walking a fine line.
and we were not walking no fine line at that time. And Lisa was like, "You trying to set me up?" I can't miss y'all. What am I doing over here with these kids? So that's how we met, and
And
I
that was
think-
how long ago? About 20.
26, 27 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
She thought I was trying to set her up
Yeah.
to fail. And I think after that, we changed numbers before we left. Mm-hmm. And we, called each other and was
Did we
talking.
both had them probes then?
Yep. We both had pros. We called each other the next day, and we was talking. And that's when she was like, "You invite me over there with all of them."
It was like, that
was
was a little
like-
risque.
It was, but those young people end up being like
Oh my God. They are on fire.
fire,
They
yeah.
are on fire.
so.
Yes.
Judging a
Yes.
book by its cover, sometimes
right.
it's not always what it seemed to be. So it was a good thing.
Yeah.
And then we end up going to a singles event because Lisa was part of the singles ministry.
Yeah.
I was against the singles ministry because it seemed like all the men they had just automatically adopted all the women as their sisters.
It was like a friend club.
It was like a friend club because they didn't really want no wives.
Right.
Some of them wanted mothers. No. Anywho,
What, can you guys say the church or no? You don't want to say the church?
Great Faith Ministries
Oh, okay.
under Apostle Wayne T. Jackson.
Okay.
That's what our background is, where we grew up. And it's kept. I think the teaching has probably kept us friends.
Yeah.
And the word of God.
being
know.
under that
Wow,
understanding each other for so long. Yeah.
I think that's a good point in friendship, because you find what you have in common.
Commonality, yeah.
You know, the commonality, and generally you can build, you establish the trust because you have that commonality, and then you kind of build on it. Neither one of us was going to church in middle school.
No.
But this one, I think we might have got saved at the same time as adults. I was 26. I think you probably was in your 20s or
Yeah.
something.
Most-
We were living two
yeah, most
different
definitely.
lives, but we were both into God. In fact, she called me like, come to my church. I'm like, you go to church? Right. We were both in church and we didn't even know it.
Right.
What church did y'all go to?
It's that thing. I went to Universal Liberty in Christ Temple. You went
And
to,
at that
it was out there on the
time-
west side, because I
Yeah,
came up, I
it was
spoke
on the
over
west
there.
side. At that time, I was going to Pastor Thomasine Faulkner's church.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't remember that. It was a store. It was a little small.
It's a
church.
storefront.
Yeah, it was a small church, but it was crazy to see the transition that we made. I'm talking about we've been with each other since middle school, so we knew each other when we couldn't have boyfriends.
Okay.
Up to when we had boyfriends,
Right.
got pregnant, I got married at
Right.
17, my first marriage.
Whoa, okay.
And I got pregnant at 18, and so we went through all of that
Right.
together, and just being that support system, and just matriculating into adulthood, and as God would have it, we wound up all the time at the same place. Like we could call each other at any time, like, guess what happened?
right.
Yeah, that is
When did y'all
funny how
know that y'all was like friends to like the end?
I think we knew. When did you know? Because I knew when we were young.
We just continued to be friends. I
Yeah.
mean, the friendship never went anywhere.
never
We never
went-
had like major arguments.
We
or
never-
just
it
things
was
that we couldn't
true.
resolve. Or
Don't be looking over here, Lisa.
We never had, and we're so different though. Like she's the calm. It's crazy. Like I'm telling you, the journey has been. I'm talking about up until present day. My new divorce. She came all the way to Indiana to get me. Like, come on, I'm coming.
Like, I'm coming to get you. You be
Yes,
out of here.
Like she just literally a phone call away. I think it's important though, because in today's society, I think, we use the term friend loosely. Like people, your friends on Facebook.
Right.
They friend you if they don't, and I don't take it on face. I'm just like, it's Facebook. Like I don't really have a bond. Out. Some people, I don't really know them outside.
It's like a cyber kind of a relationship.
Yeah, it's like a cyber relationship. But when I think of friends, I think of people that I know and trust, and any type of situation I can call them, and they know Tiffany. So
Yeah.
even if it's something that I've done wrong, that's not right, they still know me. So if I call Tadika and I tell her like any type of incident I got into, she's going to know how I responded. She's gonna say like, oh, you did this, and
Right.
you did, like she'll calm me in a minute, like, it's okay that you did that, but let's look at, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you meet a person today, they don't know you from back
Yeah.
then, they
Yeah.
know you now.
Yeah.
So they don't know what you've been through.
I would say,
what
yeah,
you've
that's after their life changes and all
the
kind of things that you've
evolving
had to deal
and your
with.
experiences. See, I don't have
Traumas,
to-
life traumas.
I don't have to have those conversations with my friend. She already know that. So when I call her today with an issue or a problem, she don't have to do her research. She knows.
Right, and you don't have to go back to, wait a minute, in my
I
childhood,
have
maybe
to-
I'm like this because of like this,
I don't have to
because
prove
of this.
myself. I don't
Yeah.
gotta prove who I am to you. You know, when you meet me now, you know the educated Tiffany, the college degree Tiffany. You don't know the Tiffany
Yeah.
skipping school. You don't know the Tiffany dating a boy. You don't know that Tiffany. You know how we overcame problems as children, and now as you're an adult. It's totally different.
So you guys have never had an issue that strained the friendship, or?
We
We just resolved. If it was something going on, we would just talk about it and resolve it, and it was just done. I mean, I've always looked at Tiffany as being like my older sister.
Okay.
So
Ain't that
she
much-
was she was always there for me. But I that's how I look at her, as being like an older sister to me, because that's how she's been, like all through school, everything. She would come and tell me with certain things going on in school. You need to do your own hair.
I would say that. Yeah, that's true.
I don't even know how to do my hair. Well, look at some videos. Do this.
That is true. Yeah, I'd be like, you cannot wear that. Like, we are not doing that. No.
I'll go home.
Where
I'm in the
is-
bathroom playing around with my
Right,
hair.
that is so. I forgot.
That's just say a friend to cover you.
That's
Yes.
a real friend.
That's-
that
you
is.
know-
But I remember. Can I tell this one story?
Go ahead, tell it.
I remember the one day you came to school.
You gotta stay on the mic.
I knew it. I
She
knew
came
it.
to
I knew,
school.
I knew this was gonna come up. I knew it.
This girl came to school smelling like perch. I was like, what is going on?
Oh, the fish. Okay.
What? We were at the lockers, and I'm like, what? Tautica. What? I'm like,
Look at her face.
did your mother cook some fish? Like, what happened? I mean, it was loud.
I told my kids.
But you know, everybody else don't talk around you. You
Right,
get what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
I'm the one that's like,
Right.
did Dosha cook fish? Like, cause you smell like fish. What's going on? Like, girl.
She said it just like that.
I'm like,
Did she say it just like that?
So different, and she pulled me to the side too. You know, she was like, "Look, you smell like fish, like this." I'm like, "No, I don't."
She said,
She's like,
"Yeah."
"Yes, you do." I'm like, "No, I don't." Now I know my mama fixed fish the other night, right?
Oh, she did make some fish?
Yes,
It was.
yes.
Yeah.
And so
It's like, girl, now you didn't have to say it like that.
I'm like, "No, I don't." And so I said, "Well, I'm gonna just take this perfume." And she said, "What you gonna do that for? It's just coming in your mouth. It's just coming in your mouth." And I was like, "No, it's not." She's like, "You is so crazy." You know, she is crying, like she crying, laughing right now. She was crying, laughing then, and I'm
I'll
looking at
never
her like,
forget it.
and I went on and did it anyway, like whatever.
Oh my
Spray
God.
the perfume, go in the classroom, and what happens?
Everybody.
Oh, it smells like fish in here. Fish, somebody died. You know how the kids are, and they're just going on and on and on. This one is cracking up laughing. I mean, just trying to tell you. Right? She said the same thing.
She said, I tried to tell you.
Right, I tried to tell you.
I did, 'cause I
But
knew
she
that
didn't
was
point me out in the class. You know, she just was cracking up. Only me and her knew, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God!" I skipped the rest of the classes for that day. I skipped the rest of them.
Now, I know that Lisa and I, look, Lisa, I think it was only at a certain point that we had a disagreement, because for the most part, we didn't have disagreements. Not until you got pregnant.
Yeah, I told my baby when she came with me today.
Did she?
I said, "You're the representation of our first problem."
Yep.
That was our first. That was our first.
That was
big,
our first.
Our first big.
Wow.
And in true fashion of our friendship, I didn't know what the problem was until like years later.
Yeah, because I stopped talking.
She just stopped talking to me.
I was so
What?
mad. I was so mad.
You were.
That was an
why?
understatement.
But let me tell y'all about my friend.
Oh,
I'm 9 months pregnant at my baby shower,
Oh,
waiting for
goodness.
my best friend to come.
You didn't go.
No, she didn't come.
we had not talked.
I'm sure we had talked.
Moni,
like
can
the
you
day
give me a little more
before
volume,
today.
because I feel like I need to be able to.
I think you might need to cut her mic.
He said, "Cut her mic."
You might need to cut her mic.
Did you
Y'all
get
got
a,
to tell this, because
you
I
get an
got to hear this.
And I had
listen.
no idea why.
Did you get an invite?
Of course, she was my.
Well,
I don't remember no invite.
Well, she didn't even have to have an invite because, of course,
Right,
she was
yeah.
a part of the whole
That's brilliant.
process of the whole thing. So
So what?
I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, "What? Is Carmen okay? What's going on?" Everybody's like, "Where's Carmen? Where's?"
Because at the time she was in one of the Divine Nine organizations.
Yes.
So of course all her Sands and sorority sisters.
They all
are
knew
there.
Carmen was my best friend.
Yeah.
They all knew Carmen was my
No,
best
what had happened was.
Please tell what happened.
So Lisa and I was like really close. Like I said, everybody knew that this was my best friend. So Lisa got married on me. Now listen. Before she got married, we had these whole packs. Did we not? I just want to make sure I'm
I
telling
don't
the truth.
remember.
No, I see. That's the
Because I am.
We
not,
had
I am
these
not a
packs.
person
We talked
that
about
likes stuff like
No,
that.
no. That's no.
I don't like labels.
We had
I don't like contracts.
probably after that
Yeah,
argument.
I don't want a label.
So after, before she got pregnant, we was like, okay, so whoever get pregnant first. Well, I already had the baby. Yes,
Yeah.
I already had my son. So she was my son's, my youngest son's godmother.
okay.
So we had a discussion, but Lisa don't remember it. Conveniently, that when she had a baby, when she got pregnant, that I would be godmommy. Now she went off and got married. And then she ended up getting pregnant. And you know, we was extremely happy. And then, you know, of course you get married, things shift. Because what, you know, I feel like the pacts you had before, when you get married, they don't know about the pacts unless you tell them about the pacts.
Right.
So I felt like, I don't care. Husband or no husband, that's supposed to be my guy, baby.
Yeah.
But of course, her husband felt like I wasn't married. So he wanted a married couple.
But we were having this discussion throughout the whole pregnancy, so it wasn't like
No.
I kept it from you, though.
It was after.
But I don't think I ever kept who the godmother was going to be from you. I mean, wasn't it
After.
a discussion that we were having? It wasn't after the baby was born.
No. It was after you got pregnant. It was like you was the 3rd or 4th month.
I know, because you don't pick your godmother until...
No. The godmother was picked before you got a new man and got married.
Right.
See, I don't remember.
So
all
not
those
only that,
conversations.
not only that, let me tell y'all. Now tell me, do you remember this?
See, she...
Now listen.
Beach cob.
Right?
But in her defense, just for the baby story, I mean, that was a huge. I mean, she was married, so.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But I was still mad.
Yeah, I get where you were coming from. Too.
I did understand the upset
Yeah, but she
part.
was you were put in the middle.
Well, I shouldn't have even been put in the middle because, again, knowing the background that we came from in our religious background and knowing the position that we put husbands in and that sort of thing in, there was never even a discussion about being in the middle. I mean, we always knew.
Yes, it was.
But we always
But
knew
you
what
said-
role,
okay.
you know,
No.
if you're in a marriage.
Y'all did.
So listen, no.
we are
'Cause-
very
because we're different. Like when she first was trying to get pregnant, this is why I think I was really mad. Because when she first started, you know, trying to get pregnant, I'm over here fast. This is what started it off. I'm over here fasting and praying that God, you know, bless her with a baby and this and that. I'm missing meals. Like good meals. I mean,
To get her a baby.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, we going back on a fast.
I wasn't fast.
She didn't tell me she wasn't still fasting. So I guess God, you know, felt like, let me tell my baby.
She ain't fasting.
Right. So I guess God was like, let me tell my baby what's going on. So I had a dream. And I came to these because I'm very prophetic. So I had a dream. I said, I had a dream that you was pregnant. And the baby, you know, had a lot of hair. Lisa looks dead at me. Now, we had another girlfriend.
But ask her what type of person I am in general. Again.
No. We're not going to skip
How long have we known each other at this time?
for a long time.
So long enough for you to know. I don't tell. I mean, even after 26 years, how often do I call and be like, hey, Carmen, guess what?
Now, somebody fasting, people want to eat.
That's not what I do.
So you tell them. But again, she gonna tell me now. By this time she knew she was pregnant. She gonna tell me, oh, it must be Tracy. So now I feel like,
And she knew?
yes.
But
So I felt like, nah, and I told her, I said, nah, I don't sense it was Tracy. I said, I don't sense that.
But
so Lisa still ain't saying nothing.
she knew me enough to know
Yeah, but
my
it came up,
personality.
though. I can see if she didn't tell you.
But I would still do the same
No.
thing today.
Her husband at the time said he didn't want to say nothing to a certain time.
I probably blamed him. I don't think it was him. I probably blamed him because I don't think it was him.
No.
But if it was
Because when we
him,
talked about it later, she was like, well, you know, he wanted us to get out of the, you know, the first trimester. And I was
And
like,
there was a good
I'm
reason.
trying
We
to
had lost
eat.
previous
Right,
pregnancy, so
you
there
didn't
was a
wanna-
reason why.
It was a reason, but I wanted to eat.
She,
So you would have just told her, then she would have been in on that.
but still, she knew I wasn't that type of person. I mean, even in our whole friendship, even all these years,
You're
I am not the
private.
type of person. Even with my family, I am not the person to share. I'm just not. That's just not me.
It's like pulling teeth.
It is. It
Dang.
is. It is.
I gotta hear about this because y'all, I
But
was
then,
on that.
oh,
Then we
but-
stopped
but-
talking because she had the baby shower.
We didn't stop talking. She
No, we-
stopped. She.
I start, okay,
Stopped
that's
talking.
fair.
And I didn't even know, but that was the thing.
But you did know, though.
No, I did not know why she
How could
stopped
you-
talking to me.
Come on
Until
now.
I talked
She
to
didn't-
her.
she-
and
she didn't know
told
the
me-
reason.
I didn't know the reason. I knew we.
Right.
But I'm saying you didn't feel anything about how it all went down?
No.
Oh, wow.
Ask her about 26 years of friendships, how many times we've been through this, and I never know the reason.
That's why communication is important.
I was
It's
just
so
thinking that.
with friendship
I
communication.
never
is so
know the
important.
reason.
Yeah.
Because I stopped talking. Maybe it was it like a year?
No, it was my baby. I miss potty
Don't
training.
even.
I
Don't
miss
even.
breastfeeding.
That was all in the first
Hey,
year.
Carmen.
That was all in the first year.
Ask her when we started talking. I told her, I said, you were supposed to be there through all of this.
I think the only reason we started back talking.
I called you.
Okay, you called.
I did.
Yeah. Somebody
But I don't think. But do you think you? No, I
I
don't think.
called.
I know, but do you think you would have called? It was a reason you called.
I called because I missed my friend, and I
No,
remember
no.
sitting there one day.
No.
And I said,
But what happened when
No.
she called?
Lisa, no.
Like
You
it
called
always.
because we were all thinking about doing a business together. And Lisa wanted to make sure
no, I
that.
called you when I was in Atlanta. That shows you how long I had moved to a whole different state.
No. We were all supposed to be doing a business together. And you was like, oh, I need to reach out to her to make sure we good.
Business.
I don't even remember what it was, but quite a few of us was talking about. No, it was. We were trying to do a bit, but at least that's what you said when you called.
Oh, I lied.
So I wanted to,
You just wanted to hear your friend voice.
because I'm like, what business? I ain't going to no business with nobody. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
they
she-
tell you.
I just wanted to make sure that we was good before we went into this, and I'm not sure who asked about the business adventure. I know it wasn't Tracy,
Yeah, I don't know who that would have been because I didn't.
but
trust
we
people.
end up talking it out, and then she finally realized why.
It was because I didn't make her the godmother.
Wow.
That was a trigger for me.
That's, yeah.
It was a trigger only because I had another goddaughter. Because, I got 2 sons. So I don't have no daughters. So I was looking forward, So I had another goddaughter. And I helped the young lady take care of my goddaughter. And she just disappeared one day. She just picked up and moved to another state. And I never got to see my goddaughter anymore. So then when Lisa...
But ask her what I said after she told me why I didn't
you
think
say?
she needed to be godmother because she had auntie status.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same to me.
It was the same way of,
Right.
but
Right,
again,
that's true.
the whole time that I was explaining to her who the godmother was, she never
I make-
said that it was a problem. So again,
say nothing.
again, that's the part that I didn't.
I
so
was
that's
holding
why I'm
back, and
saying-
Lisa not,
I
Lisa
wasn't
not
holding back.
talking.
That's why I said it wasn't like it was a secret. I waited to the end and sprung it on her like,
So,
you know.
yeah, Carmen, you didn't tell her how you felt.
I did.
She knew the whole process of us selecting godparents. She knew who was in the running. She
And
knew
every
when we
time,
made the
every
decision.
time we brought you brought it up. What was my disposition?
Quiet, probably.
No.
Yes, I was. Yes,
No,
I
she
was.
wasn't. She
Yeah, but Carmen, I'm gonna call you out because
I was quiet. I was asking questions like,
you
"Excuse
felt
me, why?"
So she was oblivious. She didn't know,
I didn't
but you
know.
felt something. Well, you didn't know how she felt about. You didn't know why you guys had fallen out.
I had no idea that
But-
being a godmother was that important to her.
So-
and the reason
and
why it was so important.
You're more
to her.
boisterous.
So, and Monty is supposed to be my god baby. That's it.
Wow.
But I'm auntie.
Well, at least you're auntie.
So we had discussions about this topic, and
Wow.
But
And even-
that's been our friendship through the years, that we
Yeah.
had these moments of silence, and I don't know why. And then I come back and find out I did what?
okay. So the last moment of silence.
Oh, now she gonna bring up the last.
Let me tell you the
she
last
gonna
moment
forget
of
about
silence.
the 5 in between that.
Right.
She gonna bring up the last one.
No, because like a Capricorn,
Ooh.
and I'm just gonna say
You
for a
are-
Capricorn,
Jeez.
See what I got there?
we have a lot. We usually have a lot going on, and every once in a while we will kind of go ghost, just to pull back to kind of regroup.
We've had bad experiences with Capricorns, but
Me
okay.
too.
Well, my husband is a Capricorn.
Capricorn?
So I understand.
Does he go silent?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
And see, we just go because
my ex-
we're trying to process it in our brain and stuff like that. With Capricorns, to be fair, with Capricorns, we are extremely loving, extremely.
Very, yes.
We are, and I must say, I feel like we are everything. However, we will go silent.
Yes.
You know, and we will try to process it, because if we don't before we go silent, anybody can get it. So
We've
in our
actually had that
brain, it's like we're actually saving you from what could be, but that's not the way the other person see it.
Right, because you have to communicate.
down.
You have to
Exactly.
communicate. I force him on. I'm like, no, look, we're not going through this. You need to talk. How do you feel? Tell me how that made you feel. I need to know. Like, after some years of me learning, okay, this is what you do. Because to me, I'm going, boop, you just shut completely down. Then I start saying, you know what? No, we're going to talk about this. How did it make you feel? How did this make you feel? Like,
Now we
you have
will
to talk.
learn. It's a slow process, but we will learn.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
I think it just depends on
We
the
will
person.
learn.
I just think it depends on the person.
I think you adjust again,
Okay,
probably
yeah.
like you have in your
Yeah.
marriage and your. I think you just adjust to knowing each other that much,
And
where
accepting
And it's
them
more
for
and
their-
accepting them for who they are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then,
Because the last time I went silent, and I had a lot going on. It was a lot going on. You know, I had some deaths, you know, and Lisa was reaching out and she was trying to talk, and I wasn't in the mind frame of really communicating. And I tease her to this day. You know, once in a while we get into a conversation, I tease her to this day. I say, "You remember that Dear John text I got?"
I got tired.
She did.
Because the 5 or 10 in between,
Yeah.
I had always said, if you take me to the prayer closet one more time,
Now she
you gonna
did
come
say
out
that.
the prayer closet and I ain't gonna be there. You gonna come out because again, I'm divorced. I didn't put that much effort into my marriage
But we do keep
as I
grudges
put
in
into this
time.
friendship.
Right.
So to keep going back and somebody keeps saying, you know, again, just like you said, a friendship is knowing each other and accepting people for who they are. It was always something that I never knew what I did. I don't think there was one time we ever fell out where I can say, I deserved that one. I knew what I did. And I did it
No,
on purpose.
because I would just go silent.
She would just
Dang.
she would just ghost me.
What is that? Don't it eat you up in the inside, doesn't it?
No, it actually
It ate
helps
me up on the inside.
It helped me process stuff to make sure that I was feeling or thinking the right way, and I was able to, you know, that I would be able to navigate through being emotional and actually seeing the situation for what it is.
Rather than responding.
But at the time, I wasn't sensitive enough to realize the people that were connected to me, how they felt when I would go.
And other people didn't get that though. So that's where I go back with the friendship, the best friend thing. Because people that were not her best friends, they got happy-go-lucky Carmen.
Yeah.
They got
See, that's the
They
Because
got-
those people,
they got
but those
they
people
got
were like,
forgiveness, they got forgiveness, they got love, they got all of it.
but
while
those
I was
people didn't
getting
really
the
mean nothing to me.
So that's where I say, well, I want to go to this crowd over here where I don't mean nothing to you. Just put me. That's why I said, I
Don't
wanna
do
be
it.
the best
Don't do it.
friend. It's a lonely place over here. I want to go in the crowd with the people that don't mean nothing to you.
They're gonna go with everybody else.
Put me
Know
in
my
this bucket
name.
over here.
love carries a demonstration.
So I get afraid when I get the best friend because I'm like, that's a lonely place over here. Put me in the crowd with the people that don't matter. I want to be over there.
I've gotten better.
Okay.
I'm a little bit more conscious. I try to be.
So do you reach out now though after you process?
Lisa, Uncle said to tell you hello, Uncle Eddie.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
He said, but we do keep grudges at times. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
You know about it. You know it about Capricorns. They just
Yes.
not having
He's
it.
right.
Exactly.
He's right.
And I believe
He's right.
for some people, not for all, but it is a little bit of pride.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also not wanting to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's a
So
big part of it.
you don't want people, you're
To see that
hiding those
side.
feelings and those emotions because you don't want people to see it. But then the other person is thinking, I'm not just people though. Like I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be your friend, your best friend. So why wouldn't you show that side to me?
Exactly.
So then,
But to be truthful, Capricorns, we've always been that for other people.
right.
So we never and it's still hard to this day. We never put ourselves in a position where we need other people. We're always the ones that give. Like, forget about what I'm going through. How you doing? You know, is this situation resolved? We don't sit back and say, okay, it's getting to be too much. Let me talk to somebody. We don't do that.
Right.
You know,
Just
which is not
keep going,
still
keep
not
going.
fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Or healthy.
So then we get to the point, and that's when we like shut down. And then everybody's looking like, what the hell?
Right.
If you talk to her, because my friends started like,
We started her
Laughing.
other friends that were her close friends or her best friends. We started our own little chat where we would warn each other. Be like, I think Carmen mad at you, girl. You better call. You gonna get shut out. You better call. She said she ain't heard from you, so that means you better call her because she feeling some kind of way. We would warn each other.
then I started like, I'm taking a yearly inventory of everybody in my life. So once a year, I'll be calling.
And so let's go back like to the original what Steve Harvey said. Now, I don't necessarily agree with what he said about friends. True friends will stay with you because that's, again, I guess I don't put those labels or that much on friends. I think people come into your life, as they say, for a reason or a season. So a person can still be a true friend, but just not, and he did say that, just not be allowed or not, it's not permissible for them to go where you're going or do what you're doing. Not saying that they mean any bad will to you, not saying that they're jealous, envious, or anything. It's just that I'm allowing you, hey girl, I see where you're going. I'm here when you know, I may meet you up there. You may invite me up there. You may invite me here or there, but you're going. I want you to go.
But I don't think he means. So I think if you're still accessible, if you're taking a back seat and letting them do their thing, I think the friendship is still there.
Yeah.
So I think you are with them on that journey.
Exactly.
But I think he means when it's cut completely off.
When they're just not feeling you
when
anymore.
it's a fan hater or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, you taking this, you become a millionaire and you didn't take me with you. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. But I think if you're still there and you're accessible,
that's a difference.
You're still
I
the
think now
friend,
the
yeah.
culture and society has gotten us to the place where we don't put too much stake in relationships, covenant relationships.
Yeah.
Now everything is, you do anything to me, you cut off.
Because we're so connected now, as you said, there's so many superficial friendships that people don't have to take that time, because you can literally do 2 hours on Facebook and I know everything about you. I know how many kids you got, where you go to church at, where you go to school at, where you work at. I feel like I know everything about you, Tiffany. Yeah. I can do a research. And then the moment Tiffany posts something that I don't, she a Trump supporter? Oh, hell no.
Yep. Cut you off.
Now I'm cutting Tiffany off right now. And I felt like we had that fake cyber relationship, but now I'm just cutting it off because you said something or did something because I didn't, just like you said,
but I don't think those are not friends.
But I think
those are associate.
That's what these young people have so far.
That's what I'm saying. Society has totally changed the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It has, and it to me, it makes me sad because everything is one day I'm in your life, the next day I'm gone, and it's like, where they do that at? Yeah. Like.
But I think, like Steve Harvey said, people that truly care for you and love you, no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, that's the person you're going to be able to go to regardless. Yeah. So those are the friends that you don't see on Facebook, that you don't see on TikTok, that you don't see on Snapchat. You probably will never know my secret weapon. You get what I'm saying? Because this person knows me inside and out. So when they hear the story, they ain't gonna believe the story. They not gonna believe the hype because they know who I am.
Exactly.
So
a real friend does it. A lot of people don't get in that inner circle. Exactly. You know,
and they should.
Friends.
And they should. That inner circle.
You know, some people know of you, but they don't really know you. You know, intimately. You know, there's a lot of phases about, I know for myself, about me, that a lot of people don't get to see, you know, and some people would never get to see. I remember Lisa. I am really, I know. That's a cold word. I'm not a person that, I invite a lot of people. I don't really invite too many people to my house. Now, if I'm having like a birthday something, or maybe a few people, I don't invite people to my house. Because I think that's my little sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with y'all the same way I deal with you out in the world. And now, depending on who you are, I may come to your house and I may show up at the club, you know, and I'll be there 15 minutes. You look around, I'm gone, you know, because I support you. But I'm not one of those people that I'm going to have all these events at my house. Like my auntie and a lot of my aunties and uncles, they don't even know where I live. I'm just like really closed off in that area. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing.
But I only have
it just
maybe
depends
like
on the situation.
2 or 3 aunts and uncles that know where I live. And everybody, you know, before my mom passed, she used to always say, "You're so closed off. I don't know what's going on in your life." And I used to be like, "Miss O'Neill, what do you need to? What do you want to know?" I just got my mom about it last night. "Miss O'Neill, what do you want to know?" She'd be like, "I don't know what you're doing. Are you dating anybody? Because you're so secretive over there." I'll be like, "I'll let you know when I date somebody." "No, your sister said," and I'll be like, "Miss O'Neill." So I'm learning. I'm trying. So when you guys think about friendship, what are some of the things that is a complete turnoff in a friendship? Well, at least I know it's going silent.
Yeah. And I think my other thing, again, going back to what Tiffany said, if you know me, you know me. Don't question me. I don't like being questioned about friendship, especially from somebody that has nothing to do with what's going on over here. I don't like he said, she said. I don't like just and I think part of it was even with the silent treatment, it always seemed like a question of the friendship. And it's always like after everything, like you said, we've been through, and even the different people know, you know, they know the educated, they know me right now, but it's like, you knew me when my credit score was this. You knew me when my credit score was that. You knew me when I was, can I borrow some shoes? You know everything about me. Exactly. You knew all of that. So there's nothing that I'm trying to hide in this. So there's no question. There should be no question. So I think that's my biggest thing. Is just the questioning
of the friendship.
Yeah.
T?
I would think maybe the lack of maybe trust or lying. I mean, we don't have any of that in our relationship, so it's
We
just
don't. But that is, I was gonna say the same thing. That's the no.
right.
I think if I even have to, for me, if I have to question the friendship, that is a problem for me. I've never had to question, you know, are we, even if something did come up, like, I don't always do what's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might call her, go off or something. I don't always do what's right. So I should be able to call you and vent and say, you know, I expect to be able to call you and let you have it or whatever about whatever situation and not be judged.
Right. Then be like, okay, girl, we're going to get something to eat.
Yeah, if I feel like I can't be who I am with my friend, my best friend, if I have to question that something for me is wrong, that's a problem for me. I feel like we can talk about anything, whether it's money, disease, church, men, other people, friendship situations. We can literally talk about anything, and I feel comfortable. It's a safe space for me to be who I am, and I think that's important. In a friendship, you have to feel safe no matter what.
Yeah. You know, with me, I feel safe, but you know, my thing is, I think truly, you know, you can't lie to me, because once you lie to me, I'm
that's the deal breaker.
I'm done. You know, now because of the heart I have, I may still mess with you, but I ain't gonna mess with you.
Different.
You know. So I think lying and I don't know, because the type of person that I am, I think I give more chances than I should to people that, and this is a point that Lisa was making earlier. I give people unlimited chances. You know what I'm saying?
I'm still rolling my eyes at people that did her wrong 30 years ago.
You know.
But it's different for you.
And you calling this person your friend.
So I think that's one of the things that's been hard for Lisa to.
What? That's an issue, though. That's a real issue. didn't get that same grace. Like what?
I think Lisa got the same grace, but it didn't look like the same grace to her in her eyes, because she can visually see me forgiving these people and acting like it never happened. But with her, it was more of a conversation all the time.
Or a grudge, then
not a
time in
grudge,
between.
just more
It
of
was a more
silence.
Yeah, it was more of I was set to a standard that was very, 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 very high. And these people, which again, I understand, these people don't mean, there's just, not saying superficial friends, but you have friends at different levels.
They're not you, basically.
Yeah, they're not me. So I was held to a standard but then I would go and say, okay, but again, you've known me all these years. You know this about me. Again, we talk about the openness.
Progress.
She talks about a Capricorn. She's known me. I'm not an open person. Yeah. So one of the issues she would always have with me was not being open. I'm not open with my mom. I'm not open with any. So it's not like, again, I'm holding something from you that I'm giving to somebody else. This is who I am. So at times it's like everything.
But I think that's a conversation that we had to have when it came to just being open and honest about. Lisa is more closed off. I'm closed off with everybody but Lisa. Right. So I felt like, if I bring...
She doesn't see the...
No, I'm not... No. I was... No, well, maybe. I don't know. Okay, let me just say it the way I feel it. Like... I think that we had to have that conversation, and I think that's one of the good things about really having a friend and being a friend, that at some point you still have to have those conversations, whether they, they're hard, they're tough. But I think if the relationship is worth it, then the conversation is worth having.
And see, I'm not that sensitive.
And see, at all.
Like, the relationship got to be worth it.
And I'm not.
Well, we got to keep.
But I'm sensitive, but not.
She's sensitive.
But the dynamics are interesting, because when you're open, you're a little bit quiet, more of an introvert. But
I'm an introvert. We're both introverts. I'm only an extrovert when I get around people that I know.
Oh, okay.
So I vacillate, based on the people that are around.
Okay, you adjust. Okay, so you're not.
So I adjust, but even at the end of the day, I'm exhausted because I've had to work extra hard.
With her, that's what I was gonna say. When you bring the conversation up, like with the godmother incident, because you had already talked about it with your husband, you didn't, like, the conversation didn't progress. It didn't get, even though she brought it to the forefront, you still was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when she brings it, I think what she wants is, let's have the open discussion, because I'm bringing it to the table, where you're still reserved, like, oh, okay.
The conversation has been had.
And
what is it to discuss? It's like, wait a minute.
That's my personality is, we can have the discussion.
Right.
But if the decision's been made,
that's Lisa. Like, the decision, exactly. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I do always want to say, though, even with my children, I hear you.
But
the decision is made.
Exactly.
And I think we've had discussions about that, where if, like, I feel like this: if people are important in your life and you bring a situation to the table, and I'm just talking about friends, because everybody is not privy to this area, but I think if you have a friend or a best friend and you bring something to the table, my thought process is, if I'm bringing it to you, I think it should be worth something that the person, listen to, take it in, and make some tangible changes.
That's our thing.
And then, I feel like once you bring it to the person, you just kind of sit back and you watch to see, because have you been married, T? You married now?
I'm married.
Okay, so everybody on that side of the table has been married. I've never been married. But I've had, some boyfriends or some flings. And I feel like,
on the way.
And my husband is on the way.
Okay.
And I feel like if I bring something to you, like, babe, I don't like when you do this. Okay. Babe, I really need you to, stop doing this. Now this is my second time. I need you to stop doing this. I feel like if you love me and you care enough about, what I'm saying, then I feel like that there should be some kind of something that you're working to make that correction.
So but the first thing is that, so anyone with the issue and you bring it to a person, you want validation. You want to know that they hear you and understand where you're coming from.
Right.
That's the first thing. But the second thing is, now that you voice how you feel to me,
I need you to stop doing that thing.
well, no,
that's how I feel.
that's how you feel.
That's how she
but what
feels.
has to, but what the reality is, we as human beings don't get to say when that person makes the change.
Yeah.
Now in your mental, you can
Yeah.
take notes and say, okay, I see, this is still happening, or this has changed, or he or she is trying. But I think that is where
And you give them grace.
You give them grace. That's where the gray area is, because we may think that they're not trying hard enough, or we don't see the change. But in their mind, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna address this. And we're over here thinking like, well, when? Because I told you this 2 weeks ago.
I'm giving Tiffany a mental high five.
But no, because Lisa would, like, even with me and
That's
Lisa,
it
when
right
me and
there.
Lisa would have conversation, Lisa,
She needed to be
after
our
a while,
We
Lisa
need
started, no,
Tiffany
because after a while,
the next time she
Listen.
go in the prayer club.
listen, right, when I take my sabbatical,
But no, that happens in a lot of situations, that once we know that what the issue is, we as human beings, we think that we need instant gratification. So we want to instantly see the change. Doesn't happen like that.
but what if it doesn't happen? Because Lisa used to always ask me, okay,
What if I don't
What if
change?
I don't change? Would you still love me the
Again,
same?
But if
knowing
she-
somebody.
And I was like, well, why would you not want to change?
Ask her the things that she wants me to change, though.
But I don't.
I'm not gonna ask that.
So we.
I'm not gonna say that.
We don't deal with what ifs, because if this was a fifth wheel, I'd be drunk.
Exactly.
But so you look at it like, okay, I heard you. You told me what you want.
I've been trying to change, evidently.
Here's where I am right now. Can you love me where I am?
Ain't that what I
right
said?
now?
Girl, we need
And
to
but then she said, if I never change,
But that's
and my thing is,
Yeah,
my
because
thing
you
is
put it out
this.
there, so that if shouldn't even.
That's my thing is
But it
because
would be
I feel
after
like
the 8th time of me
No,
changing, but
no.
it would
Wait,
be the
Lisa,
same.
Lisa.
If this is as far as I can go.
But listen,
in opening up, because it's generally it's
but
always
listen to that
I'm
word,
closed
but listen
off.
to that word if.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it goes back to what was just said a little while ago.
Yeah.
Once the decision is made, it's nothing else to talk about. And I just felt like we were always in that zone because, like, in her
But
mind,
have I ever withheld anything from you?
no. But what I'm saying, once you get in that
even if
zone,
my conversation is generally very succinct. It's just it is. It's like once my children the same way.
Yeah.
Once I say it, it's done. But have I?
But
ever,
what it can
but
make
knowing
what
me
it can
again,
make the other
knowing
person
me as
feel,
long
though.
as you've known me,
You don't care.
Yep, that's
but
exactly
knowing
what it
me
can
as
make a
long
person.
as you've known me, have I ever withheld anything from you?
No, but what I'm saying that
Have I ever
that's
turned
the
my
way
back
that
on you?
you feel, but I'm saying the person on like me and you on the other side. I go off and get myself together. It makes you feel a certain way.
Exactly.
If I'm having a conversation with you and you're
But when
saying,
you come back,
what
I'm happy
if-
she came back.
Right.
I'm not holding on to the fact that she left me 10 times.
Don't say. Look, it went from 5 to 10.
Carpet is talking about change. Like, she's talking about bringing the issue up and then seeing the actual change. But it starts with the conversation that you have with the person initially, right? Because
But
if
see,
they don't agree to the change or agree that they're going to work on it, then there's no expectation. But if, we come to the, conclusion that, okay, I hear you, I work on it. You just got to give them time and give them grace.
No, but I get stuck in that little gray area. When you say, if I never change, in my mind, I'm hearing like,
planted
oh,
the
you're
seed.
not even going to work on it? You're not even
The
trying?
seed is planted.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I got
it's a done deal. So that's where,
I'm basically saying I'm tired of working on it.
But I'm
That's what I
acknowledge that though. Then 'cause
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said we've had those conversations where it's saying you're asking me something as a friend, and again, I didn't work this hard on my marriage when my husband said I need you to do whatever.
And I was like, Lisa,
I did
don't
not
say
work
that.
hard with my husband to show you the place that you have in my life as a friend. I didn't put all this effort into
I'm
that.
like, no, she did not say that.
Or anybody. I'm not that type of person. So again, knowing me as long as you've known me, knowing what efforts I put into whatever.
Lisa is more laid back, more
I
like
am
an
what I am.
existence. Yeah.
What is your sign?
A Libra.
Exactly.
and And I'm a Libra.
She is a Libra.
I was just thinking that.
Wait a minute.
Hello.
But can I say this? When my aunt, she used to say this, and she still says this. Sometimes you have to listen to what is not being said. So when she says, "If this continues," what she's really saying is, what she's really saying is, can you love me past this? Like, how much do you really love me as your friend?
But can you love somebody the same as they say, if this doesn't change, do you love me? Absolutely. I can love you, but how about instead of just, because me, I look at it as that's an out to not change.
Right.
That's an out to not want to, progress or work. That's how, all I'm saying is that's how I started looking at it.
Right.
Not that I couldn't love her,
right?
But it's like I don't want to get stuck there where the work stops.
Right.
Like,
but that's something that I want to bring up to the people that are watching and the people that will watch the rebroadcast. Whether you in a marriage, whether you in a friendship, whatever you get into that you have a covenant relationship with the next person, it's work.
Yes, it is.
It's not easy.
But how much work should you put into it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It depends on the person.
You never stop working.
No, you don't.
But some people do.
I know, but she said
it's
how
quick.
much?
The sign of whatever.
Trouble, yes.
They out the door.
But the question was, how much work do you put into whatever's necessary?
I think till you die, you're constantly changing and adjusting.
Look, y'all some ride or die. I'm a ride to 7 miles.
That's so sad. That's so sad. That's so sad.
I don't think you mean that.
I don't, and that's my point. That's my point is that she knows that about me. But mentally, I am the type of person that, again, and I think it just becomes from my personality. I'm very succinct. So I do have limits. I do have a certain point. I need to know how far, how far is this going to go?
Is that you too? You need to know how far is it gonna go?
What are your expectations? What are your expectations? And then if I don't meet that expectation, not saying that I'm gonna lead a friendship, but what do I need to refer? Again, going to this, put me in a pile with the people that you don't, I'm okay. If that's what it means as I go over here.
I don't think
because my other
do
thing.
Friendships have expectations though.
And that's do we? I'm telling you, we need Tiffany.
Do you not have expectation for your friendship?
Because that's always our thing, the expectation.
Tiffany.
I don't know. Maybe it's unintentional.
Maybe is it something that's just you think it's just wrapped up in the friendship? It's like an unspoken expectation.
That's what I'm saying. Because I've never.
Because you see a lot of people say, "Oh, this is my friend. This is my friend."
Carmen got specific expectations.
But you do.
I'm very detailed.
I've just
like I would be detailed for the man that I married.
My friend where
T, what you think? You got expectations?
I feel like we all have expectations of a friendship,
whether we say it or not.
Whether we say it or not, because you're my friend, so. I don't expect for you to hurt me. I don't expect for you to talk to me that way. I expect for you to respect me. I expect for you to be. I could trust you around my kids. Like we all have.
I don't know
these
is that an expectation?
So for the people that are watching, know that you can always join the conversation by putting your comments in the comment section. Hey, Rich. Which some of you are doing, but you can also call in if you want to chime in on the conversation, 313-266-2811. But go ahead, Tiff.
Well, I was just saying, I think that that's why I was saying, is it intentional or unintentional? Would I even call you a friend if I didn't feel these things for you? So I don't know if that's an expectation or if we just grew to love each other so much. I don't acknowledge if you did it or you didn't. I probably wouldn't even. It would shock me, I guess. I don't know. Is that there's never been a time where I couldn't call or you couldn't call me.
Right.
Is that an expectation? But if you didn't call
me. But you wouldn't know the expectation until it didn't happen anymore. And then you'd be like, wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't feel any kind of way.
Until it don't happen.
But like she said,
even if it didn't happen,
when they were away from each other.
I don't think I would.
Well, you have to think about, okay, like with Tiffany, I know she don't like you don't come to her lying about something. You need to come to her with the truth, okay? So I know this about her, so I will come to her with the truth, or I'm not gonna come to her. Like, I didn't tell you this because
now you're gonna be thinking like, what? She ain't coming to tell me.
I don't.
And Tiffany has always been a communicator. She's gonna tell you how she feels.
I'm gonna I mean, have to guess.
Right.
So,
I remember.
Yeah, because she tells me on Facebook how she feels.
We went back and forth.
I be like, now what the hell is happening here?
But it comes out of love, though.
Yes,
It really does.
yes.
I mean, you have to know her to know that is coming out of love.
That's the type of friendship I need.
Yeah.
I need you to know who I am.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you would take it the wrong way. Like,
Yep.
So it's understanding. You have to have that, understanding within the relationship. I mean, okay, this is how you are. You're going to shut off. So I'm going to understand. I mean, in a marriage, though, I have
Now, when
that
you-
privilege to say, no, guess what? You're going to talk today. Not tomorrow, today.
So when you talk about expectations, when you went into or when you go into relationships with significant others, are there expectations that you have on them?
yes.
So why wouldn't it be the same for your friends in your life?
You know why? Okay. Don't beat me up because I'm not I'm not a scripture quoter. I know we all have our own relationship with God, but I think because marriage is not saying a friendship isn't sacred, but I think when you take that oath before God, that is the sanctity. God has expectations of us in the marriage.
Yeah,
And so,
But that doesn't make sense because God is a covenant God.
He is.
So if He's a covenant God,
So
He
what would-
expects us to be
what would be
covenant
the
beings.
difference?
to do. He gives you instructions. He says,
He does.
Love your wife as I love the church. That's an expectation that you're going to do.
What
that.
did He say about friends?
That's
Show
what I'm
yourself
saying. I don't know. I just said I want no Bible
Show
quoter.
yourself.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And He said, but He also said that friends will stick closer to you than your brother.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
So
do.
there
So-
is expectations of relationships, even from the Bible down to the natural.
Yeah.
So we have expectations.
Yeah.
We may not discuss
But I
them
was just as
because we go with the
relates
flow now.
to marriage, though. I think that's why I'm saying I'm not separating friendship from the Bible, but because all of us, I believe, are Christians, right? That's here sitting at this table, and for people that are listening, whatever you believe, that's fine. I'm not knocking any belief system or religion, but I'm just saying, just for Christianity, when you get married, there is an expectation that we're gonna follow what thus says the Lord, that I should be doing as the wife and as the husband. When we don't follow what we're supposed to be doing, then there are problems that arise. Now, God will help us through whatever comes up, but I mean, it's based off of what we're supposed to be doing per the word of God, that my expectations are in the marriage. You understand? I don't expect you to commit adultery. Why? God told you not to. If that was the case, I wouldn't have married you. Hello? Like, I mean, that's just, so, I mean.
But for me, I think I'm very clear, and I try to be when coming into covenant with people, because I don't want people to not get out of the friendship, the relationship, what their desires are. So it's easier for me to communicate that to you, and I hope it's easier for you to communicate that to me, because I want to make sure that I'm being that what you need, you know what I'm saying, in whatever relationship that it is. Right. So I think that's why it's important to me. So I verbalize it,
Give me an example, though.
I was about to say for an example, I don't do this in the beginning.
Right.
I only do it to like my friends that's been like 20 plus years, because like let's say, now how long you been knowing me? And I'd be like, now how long y'all been knowing me? And y'all doing this crazy stuff. Now I haven't heard from you in 6 months.
Right.
Where's the phone call?
But she can cut you off for 6 years.
It's not 6 years.
Never
That's
said that.
maybe 6
But
minutes.
I mean, 6 months.
Right.
Six
she
minutes.
can do the same thing, but there's an explanation that she understands and she agrees with when she does it. But when somebody else does it and say, life just got me, or I got caught up, or I was depressed, that's no excuse that she receives. But when she does it,
No.
she understands her own
That's
excuse.
not necessarily true. That's not necessarily.
But you said something.
I only go silent. No, I only go silent
to process.
to process.
And that's
I'm not
that's
going
excusable
silent
to you.
because indirectly, because life has just I just need to release some of the stuff that's going on inside of me. It's not that I'm going,
So it's more for yourself.
it's more for myself, not necessarily for the people.
But they don't know that. They just know that you're silent. The person that is on the receiving end.
Or they're going to accept whatever reason
Right.
she gives and say, okay, Carmen, you had to take care of you.
Yeah.
But if somebody else comes and says, Carmen, I didn't talk to you
Or-
because I had to take care of me, that's
It's
not
a problem.
excusable to Carmen.
Or they get so used to not, checking in and stuff like that. They don't know I done went silent because
They just,
look, they haven't checked in 6 or 8 months anyway until I feel like, wait a minute, I'm going through. I haven't heard from.
so that's when we'll
so they
call
don't
each
even
other, be
know
like,
what.
she ain't heard from
But
you.
you
They don't even know that I'm going
Let's hone in on
through.
this because you said you set the expectation. So,
Not in the beginning.
but these are people that you've been friends with.
Yeah.
So they already know that you
They
guys
did
are
not.
supposed
They
to-
don't
They
know.
did not.
They don't.
No, they
they
did
don't.
not.
Again, they don't
It
know.
wasn't until maybe the last
I
7 years.
Some of your friends probably still don't know. She doesn't verbalize it. It's just after you
Right.
get in
No,
trouble.
I had
so
a
many
conversation.
times,
I think
you
in the
find
last
out.
5 to 7 years, I've had
with
a
some friends
conversation.
that
But
Yeah.
how do they know what your expectations?
They didn't prior.
Yeah.
So because they didn't know, I had to say it.
Once you reconnect.
Yeah, because when I be
Yeah.
like, well, where y'all been? I mean,
Yeah.
like this and happened, that happened, and nobody was around.
But in your friendship, you said, I mean, you guys have known each other since 7th grade. So there have been some moments where you've moved
Well,
apart.
yes.
Yeah.
But so was there any girl? What happened? I thought we was boo friends
No.
forever. I thought it's
See,
just
I'm
a
not-
pickup and it's a. I know
Never.
evidently you've been taking care of what you need to take care of. I've been taking care of what I need to take care of. We
It's
love each
actually-
other.
We're
Like,
actually excited. Like, girl, what you
Where
been
have
up
you
to?
been? What's going on?
What happened? Girl, I know you lied. I know. It's,
See, that's not me.
that's not her. See again, she
That's
couldn't
not
take that.
me.
She
See,
thinks
see,
something is
that's how we
dramatically
are.
wrong.
Yeah.
If you get separated for that long, she doesn't trust the friendship.
Yeah.
She's like,
I be like,
if
where-
God put us, she's like the marriage vow again. What God has put together, let's
That's
nothing.
I am so big on covenant relationships. I be like, wait a minute. I don't like you didn't had a kid. Where the kid at? You done got married. You done got bust upside your head. Wait a minute. Why you didn't call me? I would have been there.
It's not a personal attack on you.
No, I know, but I'm saying, dang, you didn't even. That's what we here for.
But that's
That's
her
what
thing.
friends are
You
here
didn't call
for.
me when you got married. You didn't call me when you had a baby. You didn't call me when
No, I didn't
I was
say
busy having a baby. I was busy.
that. I didn't. No, she not. That's not the
No,
situation.
not with me. No, not with me.
That's
I'm
not
saying
the situation.
With other people, I've seen, or other people do things, and I'm like, just
I
life.
don't even
People
think I
go
called
through.
Tonica when I got married. Didn't call you? Didn't know I was getting married, did you? Or did you?
I don't think.
Oh, I
The
eloped.
second time.
I
Or
eloped
first
when I
time.
got
I
married.
think you knew either time. I don't think
But
that
I
it was
didn't.
one
I
of our
didn't take
guests.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't
Just
take
life.
it.
It just,
Yeah,
when
that's
I got
not
married,
me.
She
when I
didn't
got
even
married,
come. I
I
got married
eloped.
in
She was
Vegas. She
mad
didn't
because I
come.
didn't tell her because I eloped. I didn't know I was getting.
But that's not
what an
true.
elopement is.
That's not true.
Right.
I didn't know I was.
That's not true.
I didn't.
That's
Right.
not true. Because when he took you on the vacation, I said to you, I said he's probably about to propose.
I didn't
But she
believe
didn't
it.
know, though.
I didn't know. I didn't believe it.
But when he did propose, you did step away to call.
My mama.
You called me. Yeah.
But then it was still like, I can't believe you got married. And,
No, you didn't get married. Did you? I don't think you had gotten married.
yeah, we eloped.
No, that's when he first proposed to you.
Yeah, we
And I
got
was
married
like-
2 days later after we
Yeah,
were on the
but
trip. Well,
forget
yeah,
the 2 days
we
later.
were on the trip.
I was still stuck at the call. Like,
But she called you though.
no, she did, and I was happy she called. But I
Yes.
was like,
Can I get there?
I mean, look, I can't really say what I said, but I was like, wait a minute, you got family here.
I think that's the loyalty and the passion. That's another thing about friendship. Loyalty, I think it goes hand in hand with I mean, the loyalty, that bond. I think that never leaves. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're
doesn't.
connected in that.
Right.
That loyalty. She ain't gonna let nobody talk about me.
Nope.
She
And
just
I
ain't gonna do it.
remember a time like we separated because of life changes or whatever. I mean, it was nothing in between, you know, like far as a reason why. And I remember some kind of way we ran into each other. She gave me her number, and I was going through.
Yeah.
I was going through.
Yeah.
I didn't have a place to stay at the time, me and my son. And so I had went to this payphone to call her, and we were talking and everything, and I'm like, girl, this happened, that happened, and me and Quentin, we living over here, like, I don't even really know this person, and da-da-da-da. She's like, what? Da-da-da-da. Bring your stuff over here. I'm like, what? She's like, yes, da-da-da.
That's right.
I ring, get my stuff. I got to get from over here anyway. When he got my son, we going over there.
Start working at the daycare.
And we had, started working at her mom's daycare. I had a job. I was like, oh, Lord, I see.
Hey,
But
listen,
That's what it's
we
supposed to
never
be
had
about.
That connection automatically
it's all
relinks
of
back
it.
up.
I mean, it's
And see, I
literally
don't
no
want-
questions asked.
I don't want
Right.
stuff like that. I want the connection to stay like afloat.
Yeah. No, we
And that's
lost
because
contact.
and I'm learning, even in the age that I am, I'm learning a lot of things are triggers for me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? From when I was a kid.
Like
I don't like people like
abandonment or-
disappearing on me because
Okay.
I grew up in foster care.
Okay.
You know, so being dropped off, you know, being
Yes.
watered the court, being
Not
dropped
knowing
off
if they're
here and
coming
here,
back, yeah.
not knowing if they're coming back, and that bothers me. So it's
Absolutely.
like, women, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Like,
So you need
Check
to know.
in.
Like, you're the
You know.
person that needs to
I
know.
have to know.
Yeah.
You know,
We were, so I used to love Tanika's mom. Like, because my dad was strict, her mom was strict. So when I went to her house and spent the night and I saw how strict her mom was, I was like she was worse than my dad. She's like, come on, beat your ass. I was like, we gotta get him out of here. Like, for us, like, I just think that's how we got so close. Like, we had that, our parents literally made us closer.
Yeah.
We get together and talk about them, like, oh my God, they going crazy. Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
She would
that
come
was
to
a
me.
thing. Yes.
She's like, why does your mom talk to you like that? But she's cracking up laughing. She's like, why does your mother talk to you
I've
like
never
that?
heard anybody
never
say
heard
that.
anybody
Like,
say this
and she
and
said
that.
it right to me, like, shut your ass and
I'm
stuff. Like,
thinking
girl.
it's normal. I'm like, then she went and talked to my mother. And I'm like, oh,
did you go talk to your mom? Her
I'm
mother?
like,
Oh,
she
she
is
did.
crazy. She is
I
crazy.
was like,
She's-
I mean, her mom was going off on us. Oh my God.
She said, Dosha, did you just call your daughter? And she looked. She said, yeah, I did. And I'll call you. And she came, I was in the back listening. Like,
Scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh.
she came down, so, oh, Lord. Like,
I had never heard that in my life. I've never heard like
She
when
told
you
my
hear
mom
people
that.
curse, you know, like
my mom that.
you know, adults curse, but she was cursing at us, like calling us names. I was like, this is verbal abuse. What is that? And my dad was my dad would hit, like he whooped us, not her, but I'm saying he just wasn't a big on like the word type. And that her mom yelled at us all day long. It was like, I was just like, okay, I still want to come over. Like,
Right.
we still would have fun.
There. She still was there, yeah.
So,
But that's, yeah.
so ladies, as we wind down this conversation about friendship, what are some of the last words that you want to offer to the people that are watching or that will see later on friendship?
If you have a friend, and you want that friend is like a value to you, then if you have trust issues, try to work on those trust issues within yourself. As we talked about earlier with triggers, if there is a trigger, then, and you're learning yourself, then know that that is your trigger. Like, it's not the other person's fault because they hit this area and triggered you. So you don't get a pass to lash out, or you don't get a pass to act this certain way because, oh, this is a trigger for me. You learn that this is my trigger, and you know what? Let me try to deal with this. Like, maybe I can't talk to you right now, but I will eventually pick up the phone and talk to you. You know, have that trust, that understanding, and keep the bond. Keep the bond.
I would add, listening is very important, especially in today's society where people are so quick to judge. People need a safe place. They need a friend to be able to talk to at their lowest points in life. I tell people this: if I'm gonna kick you, it ain't gonna be when you're down. I'm gonna kick. It's gonna be 10 toes up.
Yeah.
I want you. I want to be able to come to my friend. I want to be able to talk to you and know that it's not going anywhere else.
Right.
And give grace. Friends need grace. We're human. We're gonna make mistakes. 7 times 700, we gonna keep making mistakes. I need that friend.
Girl, I ain't Jesus. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's 70 times 70 a day. I promise you.
I need my she knows. I mean, one day I can go from 1 to 100. I can transfer aggression, and it's not really even directed towards my friend. But because I have your ear, you might get the run of it. But I just need you to listen. Listen without expectation, without judgment. Just listen.
That's good.
Yeah.
Lisa?
I would probably say in the last few years I've learned to, I understand the bond and I know what the word friendship and friendship means to you, but I would say try to look for a friend in everybody. And I would always say what you don't get out of me, try to find in somebody else. I don't need to be your everything. Find something, and life is so short now, so I would say try to find a friend in everybody, and when you get it, don't try to question it, don't try to, just take the moment, enjoy it, love the person, have fun, because you never know what the next moment will bring or what that last moment that person had and what this moment with you means to them right now. So just enjoy the moment, find a friend in everybody that you meet, and if not, just move on to the next person and you'll find a friend.
I think for me, when we talk about friendship, I think that because life is the way that it is and life just be lifing, I think that if you say that you're a friend, I think that to me there's a level of expectation of being all that you can be at that moment. I think that friends should be able to count on each other, no matter what the situation is. And I do think that you have to communicate, your needs and stuff like that, as far as what you may need from that individual. Yes. But I also think that we need to make sure that we understand friendship is not going to always be hooky, what is it? Peaches and cream all the time. As you've seen at the table, you have where you have some real life situations, and depending on the people that are in that situation and depending on the communication that they have, you can either get through it or it can end a relationship, a friendship.
Absolutely.
So for me, I would tell people, if the person means something to you, to keep trying. Keep trying and, keep the lines of communication open. So that's for me. Yeah. And always remember that you can check us out on DetroitTableTalk.com. We do have, or I have to start changing my language because my co-host is not here no more. So I have some merchandise on www.DetroitTableTalk.com. So you can get your tumblers, you got shirts, you have some books. And I wrote a book on covenant relationships, so that tells you how important it was to me.
And I read it.
And you, what you learned from it, though.
I did.
Covenant relationships, understanding what God desires for us. And then because life, takes its turns with all of us, I wrote a book on Life Happens, how God sustained me. So, until the next time we get at the table, next week, Lord have mercy, guys, we're going to be talking about peen.
What is it?
We're going to be talking about, is it subjective?
What did you say?
And why do men lie about it?
Say it again.
Peen.
Oh, peeing. Urinating?
No. That's what I meant. She gonna say it.
P-E-E-N.
You said penis?
What is?
I said peen, though. P-E-E-N. I didn't want to say because the baby was over there. I'm like, she's like, what? Did he pee? Oh, my God. This is...
Okay.
I'm sorry. That went over my head. I'm so sorry.
She was looking so concerned.
Right there with you.
So next week we're going to be talking about peeing. Is it subjective, and why do men lie about their size? We'll see you next week on Detroit Table Talk. You're so silly. She was looking at me like, wait a minute.
you said